Hello everyone and welcome back to Seconds Out. I am Joshua Hart and today I'm going to be bringing you my top 5 Matchroom boxing stars in the UK. But before that, it's an interesting topic this for many reasons. We're in a very new period of boxing to what we were in, let's say, 3 years ago. Boxing is now largely centered around Riyadh season and Ring Magazine, Turki Alalshikh's big involvement with the sport. We've also seen TKO Group now enter the scene. And we've also seen a lot of established UK fighters from Matchroom leave recently, most notably in Lee Wood and Ellie Scottney kind of leaving the scene and going and looking down other avenues. So my question here, and the reason why we're looking at this today, is because what does the future hold for Matchroom in the UK? While they have a lot of up and coming prospects, there's still a long time until we see these fighters at the level that, the likes of Anthony Joshua are, who are fighters who are on their way out. So today I'm going to bring you my top 5 current stars of Matchroom Boxing in the UK. And kicking off my list at number 5, I have Callum Smith. With a record of 31 wins, 2 defeats and 22 stoppages in those 31 wins, Callum Smith has been involved in some blockbuster nights in boxing, most recently against Joshua Buatsi in Riyadh, also sharing the ring with the likes of Artur Beterbiev and Canelo Alvarez, while both resulted in defeats. Two names that you can only have the opportunity to fight if you've really worked and proven yourself at your respective weight division. Also had big nights against John Ryder and George Groves, 2 big nights in his career that will go down in his history books. And a real star for Matchroom has brought so many big nights to them. Here is a short clip of Callum talking a couple of weeks after his defeat to Artur Beterbiev, where he wasn't sure if he was going to continue boxing. But here in 2025, he's now on the verge of another light heavyweight world title shot, with talks of David Benavidez being the next name for him.
I feel okay. So I've been home a week now. It's good to get home, back on home soil and spend some time with my family. I think as you get older, you realise there's more to life than boxing, and it's a sport at the end of the day. But no, look, losing's never nice. I'm a winner. I've always believed I was the best in the world, and to come up short and kind of accept that you're not is tough to take. But I think as a man, you just got to learn to accept things when they don't go your way and move on. And let's say there's more important things in life, but it doesn't make losing that any easier. It's still a tough one to take, and I've sucked a bit this week. But as time goes on, I'll sort of accept it and move on. I don't know. Say it's still a little bit raw. I'm gonna go away and spend some time with my family. I'm getting married in the summer, so I'm gonna enjoy that, and then I'll just see what options are out there, see what motivates me, see what gets me back to the gym or not. If there's no fight that motivates me or something like that, then it's not a sport you can. It's kind of half-art kind of thing. And I say I've been a world champion. I've ticked that box. I've financially earned enough money, so it's more goal-driven. Whether there's goals or fights out there, I want to be a 2A world champion. I come up short, and for the time being, the 4 belts are going to be tied up. So I say I'm going to take some time away, and then I'll see what options are out there, and we'll make a decision.
Moving on to number 4, we have Josh Warrington. With a record of 31 wins, 4 defeats and 1 draw, and 8 stoppages in those 31 wins, Josh Warrington has been a part of some of Matchroom's biggest nights in recent times. Huge nights against Mauricio Lara at Headingley Stadium, Kiko Martinez, his beloved First Direct Arena in Leeds, where he regained his world title, and also a huge domestic showdown with Lee Wood in 2023, while resulting in a controversial 7th round stoppage defeat for him, showed that night that he still has a lot to offer at the top of the division. Since then, moving up in weight to super featherweight, he targets another fight with Lee Wood, hoping to get one back on him. Josh will return on April 19th in Sheffield against Asad Asif Khan as he looks to restart his climb to the top of the super featherweight division and target another world title shot, or a blockbuster rematch with Lee Wood as he looks to get his revenge.
Yeah, I think so. I'd like to do it. I think it'd be disappointing if I got to end of my career and I officially announced the retirement that I'd not done it. Yeah, just one of them things where, when I first set out, then you supersede that and you want to carry on and you just set yourself new goals. And when I got to the stage of being world number 1 and beating likes Carl and getting Kid, and I wanted to go on and fight likes of Leo Santa Cruz and Gareth Jr., even talks with Shakur Stevenson at the time. I had so much momentum behind me. I felt unstoppable. And we'd set ourselves goals of, unifying and going to America, and I think that's something I've wanted to do for a long time, just not even for myself. Obviously, it's nice to be on the CV, having, a Brit fighting abroad in America, in Vegas or New York, but just follow me following. You know, I know many of you who have said when the rumours have started circulating that it could potentially happen, they've gone and taken credit cards out, and others who have, even school friends spoke about, bloody hell, just to see your face over there. And we followed you from leisure centres to over to America. It'd be some, yeah. If that were to happen, yeah, that'd be nice to get picked off of the list. But we'll see. We'll see.
At number 3 on my list, I have Liam Smith. With a record of 33 wins, 4 defeats and 1 draw, and 20 stoppages inside those 33 wins, Liam Smith has always been one of the biggest names in British boxing. Big nights against Chris Eubank Jr., Anthony Fowler and Liam Williams, and including a big trip over to the States to face Canelo Alvarez. Liam really has been there and faced them all. Most notably in his career is the 2 fights against Chris Eubank Jr. While not on Matchroom shows, coming back to Matchroom this year, he intends to set out to try and target world titles at middleweight and be in the biggest fights possible. A big fight for himself coming up on April 26th against Aaron McKenna on the Chris Eubank Jr. Conor Benn undercard. A win there for Liam will set him up for some huge fights for the remainder of 2025 and 2026. Liam has also shown interest in having a big fight with Conor Benn. After a few comments made by Conor on Piers Morgan Uncensored, Liam has a big desire to go in there and prove Conor Benn wrong and knock him out. Here we have a clip from an interview after his 4th round stoppage over Chris Eubank Jr.
No, I don't need that to motivate me. I'm motivated by family, by my brothers, and by what I do every day in the gym. Boxing's in our blood. That was just a sweet kind of thing. Everyone's saying I couldn't, but it was more so, pull the interviews out all week. Everyone's saying Chris can't be here. Chris has got an unbelievable chin. Chris has got a great chin, but don't be fooled to think he can't be dropped. There's people with better chins like Chris Eubank Jr. be dropped and stopped in the past, and that was the best case to answer them questions. Yeah, look, I think I've done everything he said I couldn't do. Everything Chris said, how do I win? You pull it back, I said, well, I might as well not turn up. He didn't think I could hurt him, he didn't think I could box him, he didn't think I could fast down him, whatever it may be, but I just, it is what it is. But yeah, he did say something in the press conference, and, I did too. I think we both said at the end there, it was just press conference talking shit, really. Apologise to anyone who took offence on it.
At number 2, I have Conor Benn. An undefeated perfect professional record of 23 wins and 14 stoppages. Conor's been looking for that breakout fight, and he now has that as he takes on Chris Eubank Jr. on April 26th at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. A family rivalry that will be settled after 30 years. 2 iconic fights between the fathers, and now the sons dance again. Before this, Conor Benn has had an interesting career and a lot of hype behind his name, given the last name and the legacy that his father left behind. Wins against Sebastian Formella, Samuel Vargas in the first round, and Chris Algieri with a highlight reel knockout. Conor's always been spoken about and linked with the big names such as Devin Haney and Gervonta Davis, and obviously most recently in Chris Eubank Jr. With record time sellouts of the O2 Arena for a first fight scheduled between the sons, but a failed drug test on the fight week left that fight in doubt and ultimately postponed, only creating an even bigger occasion now, and that's why they've tripled the attendance. A win for Conor Benn and a win in style on April 26th, I believe, will shoot him into stardom, especially in the period that we're in with boxing, where the current stars of Tyson Fury, Anthony Joshua, Alexander Usyk, Canelo, Terence Crawford, they're all on their way out, and we're looking for that new star, and especially a new star on British soil. And a win for Conor Benn that night will really put him up there as maybe the face of British boxing, I believe. Here we have a clip of Conor Benn talking about Devin Haney and a potential fight that was rumoured between the two back in February 2024 after a win against Peter Dobson.
Yeah, that pussy's never had no power. Like, that's it, he's just jealous. As he said to me when I was asked about him, get off my dick, man. Do you know what I mean? You jump off. Him tweeting about me. He's just never had no power. Never had no knockouts. Boring to watch. Good fighter. very athletic but boring to watch. This is the entertainment business. You know, he had no knockouts in his last 7 fights. So, and he lost to Lomachenko. So, you know, he needs to go and rectify that loss. He'd highly likely lose again, but I don't see him taking that fight anytime soon. Instead, he wants to call my name.
At number 1, I have Anthony Joshua. With a record of 28 wins and 4 defeats and a 2-time heavyweight world champion, it's only right to say that Anthony Joshua is the biggest star on Matchroom's books in the UK shores at the moment. Many iconic nights in his career, I'd say most notably against Vladimir Klitschko at Wembley Stadium. Anthony Joshua has near enough fought about everyone in his era outside of Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder. 2 great fights with Alexander Usyk, another big Wembley showdown with Daniel Dubois in most recent time, and still a huge fight being spoken about with Tyson Fury to this day and Deontay Wilder. It's only right to say that Anthony Joshua is that big star. He's changed the landscape of British boxing. Most recently in the Anthony Joshua story, we've seen talks of a fight with Jake Paul. We know what Jake Paul has done for boxing, and we know how big of a draw he is. And a fight with Anthony Joshua has been spoke about quite a bit. Here's a clip of Eddie Hearn talking about the fight and whether they would entertain it or not is part of the next stage of the Anthony Joshua story before climbing to being a 3-time heavyweight world champion.
Never signed that. And I don't know. I mean, a lot of people who you'd think would know have told me that there are things in the contract, but I'm not sure I agree with it. And certainly, one thing we don't do is we don't deviate from the rules of boxing. If you want to fight, it's a fight. It's not 2-minute rounds. It's not 12-ounce gloves. It's Queensberry rules. It's standard boxing rules. So, yeah, I mean, look, it's not something I thought we'd ever talk about. And maybe it's for clout, maybe it's for views, clicks, whatever it is, or maybe it's for real.